What's going on, everyone? The Lakers are in a really rough spot, right? I mean, Russ isn't working. Lakers in general aren't working. This team just looks in complete disarray and an absolute mess. They're great defensively, number 2 defensively overall in the league currently. And they need to keep that up. But scoring wise, they just do not look good. Guys aren't making shots. We're 0-4. And it's like, how long do we wait before it's panic time, right? Rob Pelinka originally said he wanted to wait till after Thanksgiving to try to get a trade. But unless the Lakers start rattling off wins, you might not be able to wait that long, right? I mean, if we're 0-6, 0-7, it's like at that point, your season might be over unless you start getting some wins. We play Minnesota tonight. That's probably going to be a tough matchup. We'll see how that goes, although Minnesota doesn't look too great. So maybe we can, rattle off a win there, and then we play Denver again. Maybe we can beat Denver, on the second game within 4 days or whatever it is, 5 days. So maybe we can get that W, and now we're 2-4, and maybe things will calm down a little bit. And it's okay, we're in a good spot because it depends on where we are in the rankings too. You know what I mean? If we're right now, everybody's kind of clustered in the same spot in the Western Conference, which is good. It means nobody's greatly pulled away, right? We're still within striking range. We're only 2 games out of 6th place, or 2 games out of 5th place, I believe. So it's not like we're way behind and it's the top 6 seeds are, 4-1 or something. And it's man, we're in trouble, right? No, we're still in striking range, but the more we lose, the farther away we're going to get. And unless we can start rattling off some wins, it's going to be a trouble, right? And the Lakers want to trade, right? They're looking for a trade, so we think. You have several options, right? The only deal, though, that we know is currently on the table that the Lakers could do right now is the Pacers deal, right? That's a deal that was literally moments away from already being done. The Lakers just decided to not do it, wait it out and see what they could have with this team, and now they want to give it a sample size, right? But we hear a lot of rumor speculation. The Spurs have been linked to the Lakers for a long time. The Hornets have been linked to the Lakers for a long time. Utah is supposedly a team that wants to get back into conversations with the Lakers, which makes sense because they're a team that's trying to tank this season, and they're not. They're 4-1 or whatever right now. So it's that's not the position that they planned on being in. As much as they try to say oh yeah, we're not tanking. Of course they are. And so now it makes sense that all the reports are coming out that Utah wants to get back into conversations about trading some pieces. And regardless, whatever ends up happening, I do think the Lakers will make a deal at some point this season. But we're hearing reports that Rob Pelinka has not had discussions as of yet and has not talked to the Pacers and the Utah Jazz, even though there are rumors that that they want to work out a deal, right? And here's the thing, though, and this might be a cause of concern. It might be nothing, but all of the reports say specifically the Pacers and the Jazz, teams like that. It doesn't really mention the Hornets and the Spurs. The only reports that we've heard is that they've had discussions in the past, and the Hornets and the Lakers have tried to work out 3 and 4 team deals, but nothing came to fruition, and there's no talks yet. But when it comes to the Pacers deal and even the Jazz deal, Rob Pelinka, he knows what to expect, right? He knows what those deals entail, what they want, what they're looking for, and it's not changing. The Pacers deal is not going to change, at least as of yet. Maybe it changes later on, as we get closer to the trade deadline. But right now, the deal is 2 first-round picks for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and Buddy Hield and Miles Turner are not going to change the Lakers' fate. The Lakers need several guys. The Lakers don't need 1 or 2 guys. They need 3 or 4 guys to really help. They need basically an entire roster rehaul, because right now we have a lot of guys that are playing positions that they aren't used or accustomed to playing, right? Walker right now has been our 3rd best guy. He's not a 3rd best guy on a championship team. He's your 5th or 6th best guy, right? And so he's playing in a bigger role. And then you have guys like Patrick Beverley, who we need to play as our 3rd or 4th best guy. We have Austin Reeves, all of these guys that are really role-playing bench guys that come in and give you that spark and give you that jump, but we have to start them because we don't have those quality starting caliber players. But if we got like a Hornets deal and you get a Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, and say Gordon Hayward, right? Those three are all starting caliber players that you could have and start next to Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And now guys like Walker and Beverly and Reeves and, Bryant and Jones and all of these guys, instead of having to play, significant starting roles and significant starting minutes, they get to all now relegate and be those bench players. Now, Walker is still probably going to play the same amount, but now his 15 points is a lot more impactful because now his 15 points is as, your fifth guy rather than your third guy. And we've seen right now is that like it's LeBron Davis and Russ or LeBron Davis and Walker, right? That's basically what it's been the last, 4 games. And so now if we could get a trade in a deal that moves some of these guys to like the first group off the bench, now we're deep. And not only are we deep, but we're just a better overall team because guys like, a Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, those are guys that have been the number 1 option or the number 2 option or the number 3 option. So they're comfortable in those roles. We know that they're starting caliber players. Like Terry Rozier is a proven scorer in this league. A guy that can play on the ball, can play off the ball, shoots a good percentage. Gordon Hayward, pre-injury, was an all-star. A guy that like many people thought could be your number 1 or 2 guy on a championship team. A guy that could give you 20 plus a night. Could get you nearly a triple-double a night. Right? Now, if he could stay healthy, that's a big thing. But regardless, like Rob Pelinka needs to explore those type of deals. Like, the Spurs deal. You get a Josh Richardson, you get a Doug McDermott, you get a, Jakob Poeltl or John Collins, you get a trade exception. And now you can use that trade exception to go get a guy or two. Things like that. Like, that's the deals the Lakers need. Like, the Pacers deal isn't going anywhere. And Rob Pelinka knows that. Rob Pelinka knows, like, we don't have to worry about the Pacers. The Pacers aren't going anywhere with that deal. Nobody's banging on the door for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner and willing to give up first-round picks for those guys. Like, and Buddy Hield looks great. So, I mean, shooting 42% from 3. Miles Turner was injured at his first game back. He wasn't very good at all, but maybe it'll take him a game or two to get back in the swing of things. And, like, look, they're great pieces, but they're not the problem solvers for the Lakers. Like, if the Lakers could work out a deal to where they get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner and they could get, like, Josh Richardson and a Doug McDermott, like, work out a deal to where you can kind of maybe combine multiple moves, then yeah, I'm all for the Pacers deal. Or if you could get the Hornets deal and a combination of the Pacers deal or whatever. If you could work something like that to where you could get, like, 4 or 5 guys or 3 to 4 guys, then yeah, I think that'd be great. But like Rob not talking to, the Pacers and the Jazz and stuff again, I'm not like, that's not a concern with me. That doesn't mean that he's not like looking at other deals or looking at other things. It just means he knows what to expect with them. I mean, we all know what to expect with them. We all know what those deals entail and what's going to happen in those deals. I don't think it's going to change. And so, a Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, again, they don't solve the problem that the Lakers have. And on top of not solving the problem that the Lakers have, like, that deal's not going anywhere. You can wait another week before you start trade negotiations, right? Like, you're not in a rush to go do that deal because it's not going to change. It's not changing. Like, 2 first-round picks get you these 2 guys as of right now. Now, could that change, come trade deadline? Possibly. Because the Pacers are going to want to get something from Miles Turner. And so maybe that's what they do, or maybe you work out a deal to just get Miles Turner, especially if you can do like say you could do the Spurs deal, right? And instead of Jakob Poeltl, you go and use the trade exception to go get Miles Turner and give up a first, right? Like, let's say you could do the Spurs deal for 1 first. You have another first, and you're like, okay, well, we don't need Buddy Hield and Miles Turner unless you want to give us both for just 1 first. But if you want 1 first, we'll take Miles Turner, right? And now you get Miles Turner, Josh Richardson, and you get Doug McDermott. Now you're talking, okay, like, now you're getting 3 impact players rather than just 2. Like, the Lakers need a full sort of rehaul right now. They need a full change, right? And I think if you get, like, 3 starting caliber guys, then I think that'll really change the scope and the fate of the Lakers because, again, like let's say the 3-team deal that I just mentioned, right? You have Miles Turner at the 5, Davis moves to the 4. You got, LeBron playing point, Richardson playing the 2, and McDermott playing the 3. There you go. And now again, Walker and all these other guys get to come off the bench. Or you play Walker at the 3, and you got Walker, you got, Richardson, you got LeBron, Davis, and Turner. Now you got defense, you got shooting, you got scoring, you got a little, it gives you flexibility. I just think it depends on, what can they work out and what's out there. But again, I'm not worried about the Lakers not talking to the Jazz. I want them to stay as far away from the Jazz deal as possible. Danny Ainge, you screwed yourself. That's your fault. Figure it out. That's tough. Sorry you don't know how to tank properly. You could have solved all your problems in one deal. Now, there's nothing left. Why did the Lakers... Bojan Bogdanovic was the deal. That's who we wanted. We wanted that guy. He's killing it this year. He would have been great for us this year. That's the guy we wanted. And then, would it have been nice to have, him and Mike Conley and, a Beasley? Yeah, that would have been great. We probably would have won some games, right? But, that's not, now we don't care. Unless you're giving up, Lauri Markkanen or, Jared Vanderbilt. There's no, why would we want Clarkson, Gay, and Conley for first-round picks? No, that's stupid. I'd rather have the Hornets deal. At that point, I'd rather have the Pacers deal. Because I don't think Conley, Clarkson, and whoever, Rudy Gay are changing the Lakers' fate. Again, we need starting caliber guys. Clarkson's best coming off the bench. Mike Conley, yeah, he can be a starting point guard, but he's probably a super backup point guard, or a guy that could play in spots. And then, having, Rudy Gay, he's not a starting caliber small forward in this league anymore. He's a bench guy. We need starting caliber guys. Like I said, the Spurs deal, the Hornets deal, even the Pacers deal at that point. But regardless, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. What do you think? Are you worried about this? Are you not? Do you think the Lakers should talk to Indiana again? Do you think they should talk to Utah again? However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Love to hear your thoughts.